Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexandria and I'm so excited you're in this video with me today. I have a super fun video for you guys. I'm going to be talking all about 9 selfish decisions that you should make in your 20s. I have literally been consumed with this type of content on TikTok and on YouTube. I just love it because being in your 20s is definitely a weird thing. You go through a lot of changes, you learn a lot of things, you figure out more about yourself and you find yourself, and it's such a crucial time in your life. So I thought it'd be fun to make one of these videos because I myself have been going through a lot of changes right now in my life and I'm in my mid-20s. So let's go ahead and talk about it. But first, make sure you subscribe to my channel because I post new videos just like this every single week. I film a lot of vlogs. My husband and my dog and I moved to Florida for a 9-month lease from the Midwest. So we have like a lot going on and I'm filming a lot about that. So make sure you stick around and follow along, and make sure you like this video if you end up enjoying this type of content, and make sure you comment whatever favorite selfish decision is your favorite because I am so interested in knowing. So like I was just saying, your 20s really is such a great developmental phase in your life. You are figuring out what you like, what you don't like when it comes to your career, your relationships, your friendships. You're finding your passions and you're like developing into yourself. It is such an amazing time because like whenever you're a teenager, I feel like you don't have a lot of freedom in your life just because you're so used to being told what you have to do and what you can't do. But then your 20s, you're a real adult and you get to make your own decisions, which is so much fun but also so scary. So your 20s is just one of those eras in your life that's so important, and it's such a big growth phase. And in your 20s, not everybody is cut from the same cloth. So if you feel like you're seeing all these people get pregnant, get married, doing all of these things, like don't feel like you're behind, because there's no time in your life where you should be like, oh, I have to do this because somebody else is doing that, if that makes sense. Like I just feel like, especially with social media nowadays, we see so many people make these announcements and show all these highlights of their life, but it's just important to remember that everybody goes through hardships too. It's not just about the highlights. So I want you to remember that. And honestly, everybody goes at their own pace and that is okay. And in your 20s, it's also really important to remember that it's okay to fail. So you might try something new, fail, but you have to get back up. That is the most important thing. Think about babies. When they're learning to walk, they're gonna fall a few times, if not all the time. But here's the thing, they always get back up. So I just wanted to preface those things. So now let's go ahead and get into the 9 selfish decisions to make in your 20s. Let's go. Selfish decision number 1, and that is to be absolutely selfish with your time. So what I mean by that is you're able now to pick and choose the things you want to do. Like you're your own person now. And I feel like in my early 20s, I really realized this. Like it was so strange, like living on my own and being able to do things that like I want to do without the approval of others. So what I did was I really like just took my time and did things that I really wanted to do without feeling like I have to get approval from others. So being selfish with your time is super, super important whenever you're growing and exploring and learning about yourself. Number 2, it is okay to say no to things you really don't want to do. Now, I struggle with this. Don't get me wrong. I struggle with this all of the time because I have so much guilt as a woman if like somebody asks me to do something and for some reason I have to say no or I can't. I have so much guilt around that and I really don't know why, but being selfish with your time and saying no to things really can protect your mental peace. Selfish decision number 3, that is spending money on travel and experiences. I do want to say that yes, obviously saving money and saving money for your future is super important, but for me, I've really prioritized the fact that I love to travel and I want to see the world, and I really prioritize that. So I am more accustomed to spending money on travel than, for example, like going shopping, or okay, don't get me wrong, I love going to Target, but I don't shop a lot, okay? Like, I feel like I don't shop a lot. I spend most of my money on travel and experiences because that's what I prioritize. So maybe you really don't enjoy traveling and maybe you're a homebody and you like to spend money on, you know, material items. I like couldn't get my words for a second, but maybe you're somebody who likes to spend money on material items. Like, you should be selfish with your money because that's your money. And now that, you know, you're probably in a career field now and you graduated college or whatever that looks like for you, you're gonna have your own adult money. So spend money on things that like you really want. Number 4, try different jobs and careers. So I got my first full-time corporate job whenever I was 19 years old, and I'm not kidding you guys, I learned so much stuff about myself and the real world and what I wanted and what I didn't want. And that was sitting in a corporate office. This job specifically that I had didn't have any windows at all. So like, I just felt like I was in this like portal where I couldn't get out and I couldn't like see the outside world unless I physically walked and like went outside for break. So this is just a reminder that it's okay to quit that job that is physically draining and that doesn't really respect you. And I had a really big issue in my corporate job where I was just looked down upon just because I was the youngest person in the office. So I feel like a lot of people didn't take me seriously, which kind of sucked because literally anybody could have done the work that I was doing. It's honestly just stupid. So here's your reminder that it's okay to try different careers, try different jobs. There are so many people in this lifetime that literally switch career paths at any age. Like, for example, my dad, who is 55 years old, he just switched to a completely different career path at that age. And I just think that is so inspiring, and there's really no rules to life. And I feel like a lot of us forget that. Like, we're able to do whatever we want to do whenever we want to do it. So if a different opportunity arises, you can always explore that, and there's no harm in doing that. And number 5 for our selfish decisions, that is cutting out the toxic friends you have in your life. Now, this one, I have so many stories that I can do like so many videos on this, but I think so many of us are really scared to cut out people in our lives because they have been through things with us. But it's really important to realize that not everybody is going to support you and be on your team. And in your 20s, that's like the most important thing you need, is you need people that are going to cheer you on and be on your team. So here's an example. I used to have this friend that really couldn't let her old high school friends go, and she would constantly tell me all of these stories about these friends that she has, and she would literally tell me that like they would say mean things to her and say like she was ugly and like she needed to do this and she needed to change this because her friends didn't approve of like certain traits of her, basically. So she told me like all of these stories, and she would just be so scared to cut those people out because she had grown up with them essentially. She would have to like do, guys, this is like, it's just so sad to me because she would literally do things for the approval of them. And if your friends are making you feel that way, I'm telling you, those are not your friends. Oh my gosh. Like, I have had just terrible friends in the past, and it's super important to realize like it's okay to like cut ties with somebody. And that's like the number one thing that a lot of people don't want to do because there's so many experiences with those friends and you guys have went through so much. Maybe you went through trauma and all this stuff, but it's just really important to realize that it's okay to let somebody go. People are in your life for seasons and not forever sometimes. And yeah, like that's a really, really hard pill to swallow, but we have to remember that because we need to protect our mental peace too. And that leads me to number 6, and that is to protect your not health, well, I guess you should, but protect your mental peace. And your mental health is so important, especially in this time of your life. In your 20s, you're going through so many different things that you're not used to, and protecting your mental health and your mental peace is so important. So please do that. Please do things that you want to do and not have to do for the approval of others. And I know this is a lot easier said than done, but protecting your mental peace is just really going to guide you for your future decisions and living a life that you genuinely love. And number 7, move away from your hometown if it's not serving you anymore. And this is something that I've honestly just went through, and I will say I love my hometown. I love the people in my hometown. I love my family and my friends, but I just felt like with my career and being a content creator, and I just really felt like I wanted something different. So we moved out of our hometown just for 9 months while we're in between houses, and I feel like it's been such a great journey so far. We're almost a month in, and I feel like I have been like more creative in my business, and I've been able to focus on myself and my marriage and my health, and it has just been so amazing. So if you're in like a toxic environment, and like I really wasn't, but if you feel like your hometown is toxic and you feel like you can't grow within your hometown, it doesn't hurt to move and try something else. And the thing with this is that we aren't guaranteed tomorrow. You only live once, and you can decide what you want to do with your life, and a lot of times we forget that. Number 8, we are getting close to the end, but I have saved the best for last. So make sure you keep watching this video because I'm going to just spill some wisdom on you guys. So the next one I wanted to go over is, no matter how much or how stupid you think something looks, like if you're going against the grain and you're doing something that isn't in the norm, no matter how stupid it might look, do it. Like, do it. Okay, so this is a fun example that kind of happened recently. So I was watching a Christmas movie the other night, and one of the guys in the Christmas movie really liked to make candles, and his dream was to have a candle making business. And obviously for a man, that is kind of unheard of. And he wouldn't tell anybody. He kept it a secret because he was so afraid of what his family and friends might think, and that like they would judge him and laugh at him basically. So that is like one of those things that like you really can't hide what you like to do, and so many people nowadays are doing things against the grain, and I think that is so important. So no matter what you want to do in life, please do it, because like I said, going back to the other point, is that we don't have guaranteed days here. You have to do what you want to do, because you don't want to like grow old and then look back and be like, oh, what if I did that? I wonder how that would have turned out for me. But I also think too, it kind of goes back to creating content. Like for me, I started doing YouTube in 2016, and obviously it wasn't a huge thing back then yet, and I was in college and I still had my friends from high school and stuff, and I was just like so nervous, and I like really kept it a secret for a long time. I really wouldn't tell people about it because I was so nervous of like what people might think of me. But now I'm like, oh my gosh, if you want to be a creator, if you want to like post your crap online, like do it. And like, who cares what other people think? So many people are doing it nowadays, and especially with TikTok, it is so normalized. So if you want to be a content creator, if you want to start your own business, please do it. And number 9, our very last selfish decision, and that is, you don't have to do things just because society and the normal realm tell you to. So for example, if you don't want to have kids in your lifetime, don't. Like, you don't have to do that. Or if you don't want to be married, if you don't want to be a wife or a husband, don't get married. The thing is, there are so many times when you feel like you have to do something because that's what society and that's what we grew up knowing. But just because you're going against the grain doesn't mean that it is wrong. So if you want to do something out of the norm or something that society kind of frowns upon, then yeah, do whatever you want to do. So those are my 9 selfish decisions to make in your 20s. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave me a like and subscribe, because I post videos just like this every single Wednesday. But thanks for watching, you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.